Hi, Manya. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Um, you said that you are a freshman at UC Berkeley. Let's start talking about your interest in technology in general and AI in particular. You had done a good project when you were in high school, so share with us what the project was about.
Yeah, so I'm currently studying electrical engineering and computer science at Berkeley. It's called the EECS program. And throughout high school, I explored AI in many different ways. One way I did it was through visual data. I used that in a research paper which was published. I'm currently working on publishing that with the International Journal of Undergraduate Research. And it was about looking at congressional representation based on gender with the Hart Cascade classifier. And it basically identified people's faces and made the data processing a lot easier. I also made a robot that could identify color. So basically it was a color tracking robot, and it would help distinguish between green and red, because this is a very common color confusion for the colorblind. And those are just two ways I used AI in very different ways, like static visual data and moving visual data.
When you took that project out to test with people, what was the feedback?
Yeah, so I did a showcase, and honestly, the week before the showcase was really nerve-wracking, because getting it to be at a spot where it was presentable was definitely having some bugs. But I got a lot of good feedback on how I could make it more user-friendly, how I could get the robot to have better autonomous movements, because it needed to be at a place where if it was on a level surface, it wouldn't fall off. And it was doing a good job, but I was getting feedback on how it needed to catch faster and how my program was doing a better job at getting rounded shapes. I got a lot of feedback on how to make this the AI able to register different shapes along with color, and I just found ways to keep improving my model.
How did your interest in this grew? I mean, at what age did you start taking interest in technology?
So I started getting interested in technology from a YouTube channel. It was this science YouTube channel called Kyrgyzstan, and I started watching it in middle school. But honestly, I was a little intimidated by the tech sector, and I think I decided about my junior year of high school to go into electrical engineering, because I was really interested in this idea of something called the Dyson sphere, where you put a bunch of mirrors around a star in the solar system and you direct energy in such a way where you can get infinite energy. So it's theoretically proven to be possible, but it's very expensive, very long infrastructure. But it was something that inspired me to see there's so much possibility in the realm of electrical engineering, and then seeing how AI is taking off. I hope electrical engineering will see that with the combination of very dynamic robotics in the future. But yeah, so I was very interested in it from a young age, but I kind of didn't get the confidence to really go into it until sophomore, junior year of high school.
And then now that you're at Berkeley and there are other geeks around you who are equally interested, if not more, what do you hope to achieve in the next 3 years or more?
Yeah, so just started Berkeley a month ago. So far I've been finding really interesting people in consulting clubs. I joined a technical consulting club, and I'm hoping in the next few years to understand more how I can, these big talks about Gen AI, I'm just starting my education. So I want to learn how to best learn these skills in a way where they'll be transferable in 10 years. Because right now there's so much overturn in all this technology that I want to figure out at Berkeley, what are the skills that I can have where, of course, I'm going to keep learning in my career, but what are the most basic fundamental skills I can learn? Because even all the talks they were saying, you need to have an understanding before you start vibe coding. You can't, at my age, if you start using AI to start learning how to code, you're not going to have a fundamental understanding. So I want to figure out how to do that best. Also, my degree is going to be very broad, electrical engineering and computer science. I want to figure out how to blend those two together to bring innovation to everyone, instead of just some grandiose vision that's not going to help everyone.
So you're a very bright young lady with a very strong head on your shoulders. Most of the time when we talk about Gen Z, we don't perceive them as you're coming across to me now. So the question is, there are a lot of other younger people like you who may not necessarily be interested in the hardcore tech as you are, but we're all consumers of technology. So what would you advise your peers to love about technology and embrace it?
Yeah, I think my peers do embrace and love technology a lot, actually. I think they're doing fine there. I think sometimes there's almost too much interest in technology in my generation. But I think my generation is very clever. I think sometimes it just comes off a little bit silly. But I guess to engage more in technology, it's just to to try it. You know, I think some people, they have more of a passive relationship with technology, just using your smartphone or going on social media. Like maybe like, because for me, like one of the research projects I did was actually analyzing media trends. So two of my research projects were on that, and one of them was looking at hate speech online on X, and just like thinking of media in a way where like, oh, there's some data on here, how can I look at this, what does this tell me about the world? And like looking at my social media like that, I kind of stopped using social media as much. Just, I guess, like understanding that sometimes that the technology is looking at you and you're not just looking at the technology, finding ways to actually improve your life, not just get sucked in by it. I think that's one way to use technology smarter. But just to get involved, I think there's so many aspects with hardware, software. There's just, I think there's something in technology for everyone. I think some people think they don't like technology because maybe they don't like AI, or maybe they don't like robots. But there's just so much there, and I think just a little exploration is needed to figure out something in tech that they'd like. Yeah.
Well, I think, like I said, you have a bright future ahead of you. You are a great girl, and keep doing what you're doing, and through that, keep inspiring other people around you. Thank you for coming and sharing your fabulous thoughts with us.
Thank you for interviewing me. Have a nice day.